I'm going to give you some advice. The next time you leave a man for dead, make sure he's really dead. What's up, y'all? Just here with another review. This time, I'm going to review horror movie I Know What You Did Last Summer. Not the 2025 installment, but I'm going to review the original 1997 version of I Know What You Did Last Summer. So let's start things off here with, I think we're going to start with the cast. I'm not going to say the actors and actresses' names. I'm just going to say their character names. We got Helen. We've got Ray. We've got Julie. We've got Barry. Got Ben Willis. And I'm going to throw an honorable mention here to Elsa and Max. These are our most important characters in the movie, the ones that I just named. Let me start this review off by saying I had mixed emotions with the characters. There were definitely some that I liked, and there were some that I didn't care for. So let's start with Helen Shivers. Helen Shivers was a pretty good character. I know she's a lot of favorites. She's a lot of people's favorites when they talk about this movie. She personally was not my favorite character, but I did like her. I enjoyed her scenes. Ray. You know, I didn't care for the character of Ray very much. The acting itself by Freddie Prinze Jr. I don't know if I cared for it in this film. Here I go calling him by his actor name, but Ray, he just seemed like a bit of a softie in this movie. There's even a scene in this film where the character of Barry literally grabs Ray's girlfriend Julie and chokes her, and Ray just sits there, doesn't really do nothing about it. So I don't think I cared too much for Ray. The character of Barry, I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. He's pretty much a dick. However, the acting performance by Ryan Felipe was really well done. As the movie went on, I don't think I hated him as much, but the whole like grabbing Julie by the neck thing and all that, you feel some hate for this guy all the way through. Get to Julie James, which is pretty much our main character. I liked her. Liked her a lot. I'll get a little bit more into her character a little later, but Julie is the one that, in my opinion, held this movie down. I know a lot of people say it was Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, but no, I think it was Julie James. I think she's pretty much the star of this film. Character of Ben Willis. Can't say a whole lot about him until I wrap up this review. But Ben Willis did what he was supposed to do. Is as much as I can say about that right now. The character of Max, plays a somewhat important role in this. And I think I remember this actor playing in, I want to say he might have been in like Big Bang Theory or something, even though I didn't watch that show. I just would see like clips of it and recognized him from that. And then we get to the character of Elsa, which is the sister of Helen Shivers. And Elsa, she's played by the actress that plays Sonya Blade in the 1995 Mortal Kombat film, and she's also in Billy Madison with Adam Sandler. Good actress, but she's kind of a bitch in this movie. Don't know if I care. I really didn't care for her either. So now we can get into the plot of this movie. These are high school graduates, and you know how it goes. End of the school year. Summer's rolling around. Got to go out partying, drinking, doing their thing, and it's 4th of July. So as you know, they're all out having fun, getting laid, doing what they got to do. Barry gets a new car for for I guess his graduation gift from his dad, but he's too wasted to drive it home. So Ray drives home with Helen and Julie also in the car. Long story short, Barry gets a little too wasted. He even ends up dropping his liquor bottle onto Ray and Julie as Ray's driving. So the liquor kind of gets all over the car, which distracts Ray and Julie. And Ray ends up running a man over in the highway. This sets everything up. They get out, they go check on the guy, and they think he's dead. Check his pulse, no pulse. I mean, I would have thought he was dead too. So they end up dumping the body in a river to cover up all the mess they did, especially when Max actually pulls up. He doesn't see the body because they kind of get it off the road, and they act like Barry's throwing up from the drinking, and it, kind of distracts Max from seeing what's really going on. And Julie just says, we're kind of having car trouble. So we go on from there. They dump the guy into the river, and as they're about to do that, the guy wakes up, grabs Helen's crown, and pretty much takes it with him into the river. Barry jumps in and retrieves the crown. Comes back out. Well, they think the guy drowned. They believe the guy is dead. We jump ahead 1 year later, and we're following Julie for the most part. Julie ends up getting a letter. Obviously, the letter says, "I know what you did last summer," letting them know that someone saw them that night when all this happened. So Julie lets everybody know what's going on. Julie shows the note to Helen, shows the note to Barry, but for some reason they can't get in contact with Ray. I guess Julie and Ray broke up and they have no idea what he's doing now. Barry, being the guy that he is, he tries to get to the bottom of it. He says it can't be anybody but Max. Max is the only one that saw us there. So he goes to Max's job. It's like a fisherman area. He goes and taunts him and threatens him with a meat hook and says, "I'll fucking kill you. I got no problem doing it," just kind of to scare him. Let him know, stop messing with us. We know you saw us that night. So Barry scares him, walks away, goes on about his business. As they're leaving, they actually find out Ray grew up to be a fisherman too and is working at the same place that Max is. So that's how we get Ray back in all this. Ray tries to talk to Julie. Julie doesn't want any part of it. She speaks to him a bit, but says, she doesn't blame him for everything that happened, but she doesn't want to know him either. I guess because Ray said, he didn't have the money or the family to get him out of this, so that was why he agreed to the cover-up, and Julie wasn't having it. Julie wanted to go to the police, but I guess this is why everybody's falling off. They all had different views on how to do this. Like Barry was all about covering it up. Helen was hit or miss with it. Ray was all about covering up just because he didn't have the family or the money to get him out of it, and Julie just wanted to go to the police. She wanted to play it safe. Eventually, this fisherman killer begins to stalk them all. And he actually takes out Max first at his job and retrieves the meat hook. That's going to be our main weapon here. So the next target is Barry. As Barry goes to work out at the gym, the fisherman comes after him. Goes and gets the keys out of Barry's locker, gets in his car, runs Barry over. Doesn't kill him, he's just kind of messing with him at the moment. So Barry's in the hospital, and then they all come up with this plan to figure out who's doing this. And then Julie gets on the computer, does all this research and stuff, and there's another guy that died that same night by the name of David Egan, so they're assuming that this is the guy they killed, or it has to be somebody that they're related to. So then we end up going to like a 4th of July parade. Actually, before we get to that, I got to mention the fisherman killer actually targets Helen too. When she's sleeping, he chops up all her hair, and then I think he leaves like a note on the mirror. I can't remember what the note said. I feel like it might have been like, I know, or something like that. It was on the mirror. Helen breaks the mirror. Hair's all chopped up. But she has to do a parade because she's the Croaker Queen. She has to do a parade. So they're thinking this guy's going to show up at the parade. Whatever he plans to do is going to happen at this parade. It's the 4th of July. So, of course, Barry goes with her. By the way, Barry and Helen actually broke up, which they don't show either, but, you know, since they're all dealing with this, they're kind of, they get close again, and Barry's like, I'm going to protect you, don't worry. So they go to the parade, and Barry actually spots a guy out there with a slicker on, fisherman hat, all that, but there's no hook there, so I don't know why Barry thought this was the guy, or maybe he just figured the killer wasn't stupid enough to show up at a parade with a hook. Barry runs, takes the guy down, flips him over. It's actually just some old guy in a slicker. It's not the... I mean, how would he know anyway? He doesn't know what the killer looks like. Unless he's going by, like, the yearbook photos that he saw of this David Egan guy that died on the same night. But, I don't know. Always wondered how, like, Barry just assumed that this isn't the guy. Cut away from all that. Helen's still on the little float for the parade and all that, and, the killer is actually up on top of one of the buildings, and he pulls out a hook, letting her know, like, bitch, you're next. This freaks Helen out. We cut to a scene where Helen talks to Barry about how terrified she is of the hook and all that, and the pageant is next, I guess, to crown the new Miss Croaker Queen. And Helen is sitting up front because she's the current Croaker Queen. As this is going on, up in the balcony is where Barry is. Killer sneaks up behind him, takes him out. This causes Helen to freak out, and this means she loses her crown, I guess. So she ends up losing her crown. She's no longer the Croaker Queen. She's flipping out about what happened to Barry. A cop agrees to take her home for protection. As you can guess, as the cop's taking her home, they see a guy having car trouble. This is the guy in the slicker with the hook, the killer. The killer takes out the cop, then he approaches the car to come after Helen. And we get one of the most epic chase scenes ever. This is a lot of people's favorite chase scene in a horror movie. My problem with this scene is Helen is like damn close to getting away, and she makes such a stupid decision and ends up getting killed. I mean, all she had to do was keep going, and she would have survived. So this pretty much only leads... Actually, I forgot to mention, Helen's sister actually gets taken out too during this sequence. She gets taken out when Helen runs back to the store. The fisherman actually takes out Elsa before he starts chasing Helen. I mean, let's be real. Elsa wasn't that likable of a character in this movie anyway, so it didn't really do much. So this leaves Julie and Ray. I don't even know if Julie ever finds out before she meets back up with Ray. I don't know that Julie finds out that Helen and him are even dead. Actually, also, too, Julie actually finds out that David Egan guy, when she goes to visit a family member, that this is not the guy. This is not the guy that they ran over. It's not him. So I guess she goes and does some research later, and eventually when she meets up with Ray, she finds out who this guy is. Ends up being a guy named Ben Willis. Because I guess there was some thing on the newspaper, the news or something, that's saying Ben Willis was hit that night, and then David Egan died too. So she does the math and pretty much figures out that Ben Willis killed David Egan, and then they ran him down, but maybe he didn't die. So she gets on a boat with Ray, but then she notices there's something on the boat that kind of hints that Ray's got something to do with this. Julie went to visit a relative of David Egan and said something about a guy named Billy Blue came over and paid his respects. And the boat says Billy Blue on it. So this is why Julie thinks, wait a minute, Ray, you got something to do with this. Maybe you're the killer. Ray tries to stop Julie, tries to tell her, hey, it's not me. Listen to me. Listen to me. As Ray runs after Julie, you just see a fist pop up and knock Ray out. This ends up being our killer reveal for Ben Willis. Long story short, you know how these movies work. They wrap it up. They eventually kill him. They tie his hands up in a rope and raise it up to a boat and severs his hand. And then Ben Willis falls into the river. But, I mean, come on. Severed hand. You know this guy ain't done for. So we think Julie and Ray live happily ever after. Although when the cops and the EMTs and all that are trying to retrieve the body, they're like, we can't find it, but don't worry, we always find it. All you see is the hand with the hook stuck where they're looking for. It's stuck up. So then we cut to, I think it's a year later. By the time we wrap up this film, it cuts to 1 year later. And Julie is now in college. She's on the phone with Ray. She's getting ready to take a shower. She goes into the shower room. One of the college mates is like, you got some mail, Julie. She gets a note. She's afraid to open it because of what the last note she got said when it said what you did last summer. It's a party invitation. Julie opens it, reads it. She's fine. She smiles, goes in to take a shower. All we see is a bunch of mist from the shower. Finally, that clears away. And we see the shower glass door. And the shower glass door reads, I still know. We hear like a little sound, like a ding sound. Julie turns around and then she slowly looks back toward the glass shower door. And we just see fisherman killer just jump right through the glass, cut to the credits. Now, I'm going to be honest. I saw this movie when I was in 10th grade with a good buddy of mine named Antoine, and we call him Snake. We both jumped out of our damn seats at the end of that movie. The jump scare, it worked. It did. It worked. It worked more than like Scream or any of those other movies did. The jump scare definitely worked. So, since I'm done talking about the story and all that, let's get into... I'm going to jump to the weak link of this movie. I gotta say it was Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character of Ray. He just was too much of a softie in this movie for me to take him serious. Even if he was one of the survivors, even if he did save Julie at the end, I don't know. Just so much of it, just in so much of the runtime, he's way too much of a softie. So I cannot give him a pass with this. I hate to say it, Freddie Prinze Jr., I like the guy, but he's the weak link of this movie. Which leads me to who is the MVP of this movie. And I'll bet a lot of people are going to be surprised that I don't say Sarah Michelle Gellar's character of Helen. No. The MVP of this movie is Julie James. I don't know how many people are going to agree with that. But in my opinion, that's the star. It's the final girl. It's the star. She's the one that holds her own in this film. So now that I've given my thoughts on the weak link and the MVP of this movie, what did I think of this movie overall, and what did I give it? I absolutely loved it, and it still holds up to this day in my opinion. So my rating, out of 5 stars, actually we're not going to do stars. My rating is going to be out of hooks. I'm going to give this movie 4 out of 5 hooks. I think it is purchase worthy. I rewatch it all the time. So yes, I do think if you have not seen this film, you should check it out.